Curtis, with regard to your lead this morning at 6:25 or thereabouts, 617 text, which reads, why is Curtis suggesting that basically the only good thing about this Red Sox team, Alex Cora, should be bid farewell to? And I don't know if you were specifically saying he should go, but...
No, I was saying that if you really, maybe it was old news in a way, but the Drellick excerpts that came out in the Herald and at the Athletic on Friday painted a picture of Alex Cora in a way that we have not seen him here. What he projected after the investigation and the year-long suspension was a real feeling of remorse, a sense of how grave the mistake had been.
He said it was going to essentially live with him forever, that he was going to have to deal with cheating forever.
And I can't, and then the excerpt comes out where he is brazenly bragging about how he cheated to win the World Series and this apparatus that had been created. They knew the pitches before runners were even on base. And I just can't put two and two together and not get that the Red Sox 2018 championship is tainted. Because you're playing the identical team the Astros beat in 2017. There has not been an investigation. There has not been anything that would signify to Alex Cora that what he did was now going to be found out in 2018. So they beat the same team. They have no issues with it. And even after the penalty is in place and implemented, Cora's bragging about how good he was at it. I find this all to be incredibly damning to the lone bright spot that we all felt, even dating back to the winter weekend in Springfield, where Alex Cora was the only one that got cheered on a stage full of booze. And it's just got to be very frustrating, I think, to at least it's frustrating to me because he's a guy I've really liked and I think has been a really great addition since he arrived, even after the cheating scandal. I thought he conducted himself with grace. He was humbled by it. He seemed to understand what went on. But this sort of light is counter to everything I thought we were seeing in Alex Cora.
But he's paid his penance.
Mm-hmm. Double jeopardy.
Really? He paid his penance? He missed a pandemic shortened season? And he came back. I mean, I don't. Do you know if Alex Cora is a great manager? I don't.
I think when you talk to players, they all have the utmost respect for him. So I think if I'm based off that, I think he is a good manager. I also think when you're reading something in a book, context around it kind of gets thrown to the wayside. I don't know.
But isn't it like everything is like so smeared? Because there was the situations with the Apple Watch before Alex Cora, and you think about they probably were cheating, but Lou used to say this all the time, is that everybody was doing something in baseball. Do you think that the Astros were the only team doing that at the time?
No.
Right.
Well, I don't think there were.
What's that mean?
You mean running around with buzzers on under their jerseys?
But there's never been any. But there's never been any evidence of buzzers.
Right.
There's never been any.
And they were not the only team cheating. Every team is looking for ways to get around rules, and that's the issue when it comes to baseball.
And that buzzer thing, they've never.
Which shows you how bad this was. That it was taken this seriously. A league full of cheating found this to be beyond the pale.
Right, because they were using and how is it an elaborate trash can banging scheme? There was.
Read the report.
Right, but there were other teams. I forget there was another team that was supposedly supposed to be using some type of sound, but all teams were doing it.
What would we be saying if the Red Sox were the Dodgers? And they lost consecutive World Series to teams that were led by a guy that was found to have run one of the most organized cheating apparatuses in the history of the sport.
We would have said, do a better job of cheating. Keep up with everybody else.
Saying. The lines would be lit. Give the Red Sox their title. What a
I think it would be hard here in New England because we've had our own cheating scandals.
Right, exactly. No one would be tripping
Did you hear how we reacted to the Astros cheating scandal before we realized that it hit us at home?
We
were going off about the Astros in 2017. They beat the Red Sox in the divisional round. Well, how did this happen? What a cheater. All that was going on.
You might have been tripping over it, but I looked at it, and I've said this, and I always say it. That's what baseball was at the time. And I believe a lot of teams are cheating. Because then we heard Alex Cora say, I forget who the hell it was at the time. Was it Carlos Beltran or whatever with the Yankees saying, hey, Their best offseason move was getting this guy.
Yeah.
So all the teams were doing something.
Right, and so he thought he was a great offseason move because the Red Sox got him to continue what he was doing. He was basically telling you they were still doing it.
So what are you mad about?
I'm not mad at all. I find this to be interesting. I just think I am frustrated at the local media here reacting totally different than had it been by a team the Red Sox play instead of on the Red Sox, because I saw Lou tweet this. We can talk about a vendetta, but Greg, in the history of journalism, isn't every leak a vendetta?
Yeah.
That somebody is looking to color someone else in a negative light.
Yeah,
That's how every story is broken.
Or it's spin in advance of, to save yourself is essentially why people leak things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, of course this is probably coming from someone that Cora doesn't get along with, but why are we attacking the source instead of the story? Like, that just seems to be... I've been part of this radio station for a long time, and there have been a lot of things that have gone on in other cities that we got all up in arms about. And this is a case where Alex Cora was the central piece among the two titles between 2017 and 2018. We thought we were through it, and the picture that was painted to us about Cora doesn't jive with what was released in this book, and that's what I find interesting.
Meaning that he was bragging about it to players on that team.
Right. If you hear Cora and others at the time of the penalty, it would have been like, it didn't happen here. They changed everything. Cora understood he couldn't continue that. Of course that's not true in hindsight. I don't know why we believed it at the time. I guess that's my problem. But in general, we don't know if Cora's a great manager. He looked great in 2018. It was the greatest season in the Red Sox history. Mm-hmm. Okay? But in hindsight, how great was it? Were they just doing things better when the other teams, they knew their signs, they knew what was going on? I believe that this year is going to take on added importance for Alex Cora, in part due to the revelations in this book.
One member, according to the book, one member of the Red Sox said, "We knew the Astros were stealing signs because Alex Cora told us." Mm-hmm. He said that when they played the Dodgers, we already knew what everybody was throwing before we even got on base. We didn't have to get on base. And everybody was like, what the hell does that mean?
I mean, but this guy's a vendetta. He doesn't like this guy's mad at Alex Cora. Well, I'm sure that when you're down, people like to kick you when you're down. But this was something where it just doesn't mesh with the person we've been led to believe. That's all. That's the biggest takeaway from me.
All right. When does that book come out? It's not out yet, right?
No. In the next couple of weeks. Maybe we can get Evan Trellick on, who is he has an odd story in the book about his time hosting at WEEI.
Oh,
It's very
really?
bizarre.
Oh,
I swear. But anyway, yeah. No, it's I'm looking forward to hearing what Cora has to say about it. I just don't think that this is going to disappear as quickly as Ken and others would like it to.
Okay.
Yeah, please let me know when this book comes out.